Hi, it's Sherry, and I am with you. Hello, it's Sherry, and today I'm here with a video about forward folds. Forward folds are something that a lot of people have contraindications that prevent them from doing a classic forward fold, where I just let my body fold down over more towards my feet. So I want to look at, as I have in previous videos, we're going to start with the safest versions of forward folds for all bodies. And then we're going to look at some versions of forward folds that you might want to skip if you have contraindications about having your head drop down lower than your heart, or have any contraindications against loaded flexion in the spine, in the hips or the shoulders. And where that would be a case would be people with low bone density would want to avoid some of the forward folds towards the end of the video. So we're going to start with the ones that are safe. If you can't have your head drop down, if you have low bone density, we've got some forward folds for you. As you can see, I'm in a chair. And that's because we're going to start in a seated forward fold. Because for some people, folding forward, even if you don't have low bone density, might make you dizzy. So we're going to start with ones in a chair. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm seated way back in the chair. So I'm going to slide myself forward, right? And sit up really tall and make a mountain pose. Let's look at that from the side. Okay. I've come to the edge of the seat. My back is really tall. I'm even pushing into my feet, pushing my backside onto the chair more, pulling my belly to the spine. And then the forward fold, see myself slide forward. I'm hinging from here in the hips, and I come down one forearm, then the other forearm. I reach the top of my head away from my tailbone, push into my feet, push my tailbone back a little bit, pull my belly to the spine. I'm even going to let my chin tuck in just a tiny bit, lengthen the back of my neck even more. And then I bring my hands to my knees and I push myself back upright. So really safe, seated forward fold. A lot of support. We're not putting loaded pressure into our spine or shoulders or hips. We're keeping our head up. Let's look at another variation of that, which is a wide angle seated forward fold. You can see my feet heel toe walking out. I'm only going so far out into a wide angle as feels truly comfortable. Then I have my hands on the legs and I push down a little bit to help myself get tall. Belly pulls back towards the spine. And then once again, I'm going to go down one forearm, then the other forearm. Push down lightly. Let my chin tuck in just a little bit. Push into the feet, push the backside into the chair more. And really keep the belly tucked to the spine. Coming out of that, push up with the hands, lift yourself up, and then bring the feet back in. Now, let's look at a version that is standing using the chair for support. Now, this version is still safe if you've got low bone density, and the head is still going to stay up pretty high. So the first thing we're going to do is going to take the chair, take it up to the top of your mat, turn it so the seat faces you, still got all the feet of the chair on the mat, and then I'm going to bend my knees, hinge my hips, and bring my hands firmly onto the seat of the chair. I then push away from the chair with my hands and lengthen my legs. I lift the low belly, middle belly too, up towards the spine. Push out a little bit through my feet and my hips. You can keep the knees bent, right? Gentle in the back of the knees. Lightly push down into the hands, shrug your shoulders back. Reach the top of the head forward. Now coming out of this, bend those knees, hinge those hips, even push away from the chair a little bit, come up. Let's look at the wide angle version of that. I take the chair to the middle long edge of my mat, and then I step out into a wide angle pose, facing the chair. Toes are facing forward too. I'm not going too wide. I want to feel really strong and stable in this wide angle shape. Then, knees bend, hips drop down. I reach my hands to the chair, tip forward in that forward fold and lengthen the legs. Remember, keep a little gentle bend to the knees and really lift the belly up towards the spine. Let the top of the head reach towards the chair back. You can hang out here for as many breaths as feels good. Coming out, once again, knees bend, hips drop down, push away from the chair, come up. Step it in. Now let's take this chair and put it over here. I like to say it's like having a grab bar for your yoga practice. And we're going to move to another level. So the next level of forward folds are versions for people who might still have low bone density, but have a little more strength and support and flexibility in their legs so they don't feel as the need for pushing away from the chair as much. So this forward fold, notice how I turn in case I need the chair. It's right there, right? I'm going to bring the hands even to the heart center. Then I'm going to bend my knees, hinge my hips, bring the hands to the thighs, and fold forward. Right? I've slid my hands down to kind of the knees. I'm pulling the belly towards the spine, reaching the head away, tailbone reaching back. Coming up, knees bend, hips drop down. I can even use the legs, push myself up. Let's do a wide angle version of that same, less supported forward fold. Still within easy distance of grabbing a chair, hands at the heart. Right, knees bend, and then you bring the hands to the legs. Get yourself a little extra support, and you fold forward out of your legs, reach the hips back, crown of the head forward, and pull the belly up towards the spine. Okay, then let the knees bend, drop the hips down, bring yourself up, and let's step it in. Okay. Now we're going to move into some forward folds where our head is going to come down much lower. And so if you have anything or any concerns that you might have, contraindications about having your head drop lower than your heart, so that could be things like blood pressure shifts, glaucoma is another big one. If you're prone to dizziness, you might want to not go any further. And if you have any low bone density, these next ones really should be checked out about with your doctor or physician's assistant to make sure that you're not going too far and it is safe for your body. That said, if you've got this far and you're like, I am not in any of those crews and I would like to know how to go deeply into a forward fold a little more safely. We're going to bring the chair back again and start at seated and work our way to fully standing. Right? So the seated forward fold with deeper flexion, right? Same thing. I start here, but then I keep going. And I soften as I go. And if it's comfortable, you could even let the arms come down and hang. Let your chin tuck in. Let your head hang. Coming up from this, really bring the hands all the way up onto the knees. Then very slowly push yourself up and unwind the spine slowly. Head coming up last, sitting up tall. Let's go wide angle version of this. Okay, so I'm going to just say the side of the spine this time. I got that seated wide angle. Once again, down onto the forearms. But then I curve, right? Flexing in the spine more. Arms could hang to either side. Head could hang to the center. You're still pushing into your feet, really pushing the backside onto the chair. Coming up, hands come to the legs. Keep your head down as you push yourself up. Slowly unwinding. Rolling up the length of the spine and bringing the head up last. So let's bring that up, standing supported with a chair. So first, we got the chair facing us. And I'm going to bring my hands to my heart center. And I'm going to flow on down. Still bring the hands to the chair, lengthen. But now I'm going to bend the elbows and bring my forearms down. Let my head hang. And if it feels good, I'm going to bring my hands to the legs of the chair and start to come down even lower. If I feel really stable here, I'm going to even let go of the chair and let my arms just hang. To come up, I'm going to bend the knees a little bit first, bring my hands to the legs of the chair, walk my hands to the seat of the chair, really bend the knees, hinge the hips, come down, push up. Right, nice and slow. Let's look at the wide angle version of that. I step out. Okay. Toes are facing forward. I'm going to come down. Come to the chair first for support, and then lower. Lowering my head down. Sometimes I can even bow my forehead and touch it on the chair, which can feel nice. I'm going to do the same thing by grabbing the legs of the chair and then bringing my hands down towards the floor. Lightly resting the forehead on the seat of the chair in this version. You may also slide your chair back, step back a little bit, and let your head hang. Notice how I grab the legs of the chair to support myself, dropping the head down even lower. All right, come up, grabbing the chair, right, walking yourself up, pushing away, coming up. Step in. 2 last variations. You might still have your chair nearby, especially if you're prone to any kind of dizziness. Always having the chair there to grab, to even hold on to, or just sit down in. All right, now we're going to look at an incredibly slow, very deliberate forward fold. And I'm going to start from the very top of my spine. Let's drop those arms down. I've got the belly pulling back towards the spine and a little bend in my knees. Then I tuck the chin in. And ever so slowly, I'm rolling down through the spine. I'm imagining I'm going 1 vertebra at a time. And I'm just going as low and deep as my body is comfortable going. And when I get to the end, I just hang here. I take a couple of long breaths here. Now to come up, right, I bend the hips, the knees and hips, and I drop the hips down. Push for my feet, really pulling the tailbone down, and then lengthening slowly, the head coming up last of all. Very slow, deliberate. You can hang in that, again, as long as feels comfortable. Now you see me taking my feet out wide. Let's look at the long, slow, wide angle version. If it feels wobbly, you can still hold the legs, or you can let the arms just hang down. Chin bending. I've already got the belly lifting. Knees are bending a little bit. And I'm rolling down ever so slowly. Once I'm down all the way, I'm going to hang out here for a couple of breaths at least. Try and let my arms just drape down. Then the knees bend. Once more, I drop the hips down, push from the feet. Keep dropping the tailbone underneath me to lift myself up. Head coming up last and then extending through those legs. And then we step in. And that's a whole series of forward folds. From the safest forward fold that you can do, not even standing, to forward folds that are only meant for folks that don't have some contraindications for their body. So I hope in this video you can find the forward fold that feels good to help you lengthen and feel aware of all the strength and movement in the back of your body. I hope this has been a fun practice. Thank you for joining me. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.